So what is EC and what does EC mean, and how is that different than soil salinity?
The GroGuru sensor measures the bulk conductivity of the soil.
Okay.
That's the conductivity.
Electrical conductivity.
Electrical conductivity,
Okay.
and that's the conductivity you get as a result of the soil particles, the air, and the water with the dissolved salts in the water. Now, a very common measurement of salinity is called the saturation paste extract conductivity. Big word, but the concept behind that is a very simple field measurement where you go out, take a sample of soil, saturate it, withdraw the water out of the soil, and then measure that conductivity. We estimate spec using a model from the moisture and our measured bulk conductivity, and we report that to the user as a soil salinity.
Okay.
And the reason we use that spec or saturated paste extract conductivity is it has a very large history and literature values on when that value impacts crop yield for a variety of crop types.
Okay.
So for some sensitive crops, a spec value of 4 decisiemens per meter is going to start to impact yields.
Okay.
Some more salt tolerance can tolerate up to 10 decisiemens per meter with very little impact on yield. So it all depends on what you're growing. But most crops tend to be sensitive or moderately sensitive to salinity.
Okay. So basically, like if you have an agronomist that's an expert in corn versus strawberries versus almond trees, they'll have different models of how much salinity is tolerable within that plant type?
Yes, and you'll be trying to manage salinity below those levels.
Okay. So EC is electrical conductivity, and that's a proxy for salinity in the soil, and then you manage it based on that. Is there a way to get parts per million of salinity or salt in the soil?
Yes, there's a straightforward conversion between our reported value in decisiemens per meter to parts per million. It's roughly about 600 parts per million per decisiemen per meter.
Okay.
So a 3 decisiemen per meter salinity value is roughly 1,800 parts per million.
Okay, so as a farmer, how do I interpret that? Translate that into what that means for me and how I know if I need to kind of flush my soil.
Well, for instance, if you're growing a sensitive crop, your threshold for starting to notice yield drop or crop quality issues is about 4 decisiemens per meter.
Okay.
So as growing season progresses, you might see salinity slowly start to creep up. And when you get in the neighborhood of 3 to 4 decisiemens per meter, you're probably going to want to take action.
Okay.
Now that might mean applying gypsum and then applying a lot of water at the same time to flush those salts through the soil profile.
So if you've set up, kind of your parameters of what's acceptable for your crop type, the GroGuru software actually gives you alerts around this?
Yes, you can set alerts and you'll see those trends. Usually salinity creeps up on you.
Okay.
It doesn't happen overnight.
Okay.
Irrigation, you can get a very dry conditions pretty quickly.
Okay.
Salinity tends to be an issue that evolves over weeks to months.
Okay. So how large of an area does our soil sensor measure?
Our soil moisture sensor measures a volume that's really about a cylinder about this large in diameter by about this length.
Okay.